Hello, everybody. This is the first part of this new type of episode that I make about like how to beat the classic challenge. I'm not a pro at this game or anything, but I have 9 years of experience, almost 10, and I just want to give my 2 cents about it because I lately don't find it really a challenge. So for the first tip that I will give everyone, you need to make sure that you're playing a deck that you're comfortable with, not necessarily a deck that is meta, but something that you're comfortable with. If it's meta, it's a bonus, but it has to be something that you're good with. If I'm going to play, like for example, Golem, I'm not going to be good because I'm a cycle player, and I'm a cycle player, so I'm going to play this cycle deck, which is popular in the meta, and I'm just going to have fun and going to be able to win like matches that I wouldn't be able to win with a deck that I'm not as comfortable with. So let's get into the first game. In general, the first games, like 1 to 4, are the easier part of the challenge because the harder, the further you get into the challenge, the harder the opponents will get. That's a general problem. So he tried to predict me. So I assume already that it's going the game, and I think he's playing a drill deck maybe, or a hog deck. So I'm just gonna proceed with caution. And since he kinda overcommitted, I'm just gonna also poison him because I can, yeah. I think he's playing Expo now that I think about it, because he has the Evo Storm. It might be even pumpable. Oh, also, the second thing that you do is just mute emotes. You don't want to focus on anything but the game. All you want to be thinking about is the game, not your opponent just DMing you. Also, let's make sure we take out the Tesla. That bomber was ridiculously dumb from me, but yeah, we just want to take out the Tesla. We've done our job. And also, if you're playing against Expo and you know how to beat it, and there are two things that you should do. Always, the main thing is tank for the Expo. You cannot let the Expo lock. If the Expo locks, it will do so much damage. I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay, he's playing it very stupidly, but you have to tank for the Expo. You cannot let it lock on. You cannot let it lock on. You could in certain situations where the Expo is already kind of dead and you don't want to overcommit, but you cannot let the Expo connect. Okay? So just play patiently. This is also something that you should do. It's a 12 win. It's 12 wins. It's a grind. Also, the Expo will not attack me tower, so I know that you just play it together. But you should know this challenge is a grind. It's not something that you can do like you should do fast. You don't want to. The match is 5 minutes long. Don't try to win it in the first minute. Also, you might go Expo opposite lanes and I'm just gonna cycle the bomber in. But no, the opponent is kind of stupid here. He's playing Expo for the first time, I believe. So he doesn't really know what to do. It's fine. You can see, but though, the first part is supposed to be easier. The opponents will get ridiculously hard as you go in this challenge. Like, depending on your skill. So right here, he doesn't have a knight. I can just go again. I have done that like a couple of times already. Just got guaranteed damage every time. I'm gonna poison for those little skellies. They will not die. I'm gonna cannon the bait. And you can see that I'm kinda bridge blocking him. And that's a part of something that you can do against Expo. And that's just, don't let them be able to attack them. Just defend against them. And if you know you can spell cycle better, you don't even have to go. You didn't have to go for a drill. Like, genuinely. I'm gonna now drill right here. I'm gonna wait for him to knight, then I'm gonna take a sniper. And yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna predict the Expo, which you will now have to commit something on the scanner, because it just blocked the bridge. And he wants to go Expo on the bridge, so yeah, and I'm just gonna again, I'm gonna stop those for these sniper skellies, yup, and I can just poison, and the goblins will take over. So yeah, you can see I was clearly better than the opponent. The opponent played not so well, no offense, but you can see that they still played with respect. They did not try to go all in and like lost. Okay, let's get on to the second match. I mean, you just want to get more experience. Learn your deck. Don't switch around a lot of decks. Just learn one and make sure that you can specialize in it. One trick it, even. Okay? You don't want to just switch around decks which you are not necessarily good with. Just play with your one deck that you're good with, okay? Here I was forced into an upgrade cycle. I had to defensive drill, I had to defensive poison, and I had to take it. So I've made a clear big mistake, okay? As you can see, it's a clearly pretty big mistake. And it also logged countered me. I will not let that get me. That's another thing that you have to be. You have to be cool, calm, and collected no matter what you're facing. Even if you're facing the hardest of counters, like a triple spell against Logbait, a triple small spell against Logbait. You have to always stay locked in. Never throw a match. Also, you have like 3 lives to get through. How many games is that? Well, it's not gonna be easy. Under by no stretch of the imagination. Also, I need to stop playing my opponents. I'm gonna go opposite lane because there's a wizard and that will help you. That's something that you need to know also. Which lane you should go in and what, which is a more advanced tip, but you should also be thinking about it. And as you can see, I just got a ton of damage. A ton. Now, against an Hydra, this is a tip you can do. You can play a ground tank and like let it cross and then just kite it back. And now the Berserker also for them very good. And go for the cannon here, go for the skellies, then for the prince. And that's it, prince. Well, I'm gonna drill, I'm gonna snowball, and then I'm gonna also bomber. I'm gonna also poison the wizard because now my evil cannon will just take it. Be sure of the interaction effect of it. This is also a thing that you get only by experience, which if you're new to the game, it's probably something that you should do. And it's gain that experience. Like, also I shouldn't have all the skills back, but it's fine. As you can see, I know if you can show me 2 cards going into the same level, or even 3, I can tell you exactly what will happen and in how long. Like, it's something that's important for you to know. The interaction of your deck, especially your deck. And as you can see, I'm like always focusing. And if you're playing one deck that you're already good with, that's because you know those interactions. You just have to learn with the times. Also, the third game up here, we are playing against a cannoneer, meaning that I can just spam my skeletons. And as you noticed, also, your main tower really matters. Like, in Classics, you can play any tower trick you want. So you can play the Duchess, you can play the regular archers, you can play the chef, you can play the cannoneer. And you may ask, how do I know what deck do I want to play? It's generally not that hard to decide what you should be playing. It's like, for the most part, you want to stick to the regular auto tower. It has the most HP, it has the most reliable DPS against small stuff, and it's genuinely the best, like, overall, okay? Now, you should always, if you're playing a good beatdown deck, you should, and I do mean that, you should play the chef. The chef is like a regular princess tower, but it levels up your stuff, which is very, very valuable for you. If I'm like playing like a golem, you prefer to have an overleveled golem. Like, there is a reason that in mid-ladder you struggle, because you're underleveled. Who else would know that but us, in this free-to-play scene, where we're just suffering up against high-level opponents. So it's very important. Levels are the most important stuff in the game. You can let Mohammed light, play a level 1 deck against a newbie, and he will lose. Because levels are the thing that matters the most. Not your skill is secondary. And that's, while it's unfortunate, it's the reality of the game. Supercell wants to make money, so that's how they design it. And yeah, the Cannoneer and the Duchess are more niche, on the other hand. You should always play the Duchess, if you want your deck focuses on offense, and pressure in the defense. Like, also I'm gonna try to play the Graveyard activate Blink. And now I took a ton of damage here, but it's fine. And you know why? Because having a King against the Graveyard is the best thing you can do. Also, I'm gonna just snowball here, straight by, and I got no damage. He defended pretty much perfectly. But it doesn't matter. I can just now spam him the entire rest of this match. Just because he activated it. And as you can see, he won't be able to punish me. Like, look at this graveyard. I'm gonna result it, but it doesn't really matter because the King Tower is within me. So yeah, that's something that you have to do against Graveyard. If there is any way to activate, please activate. Against Graveyard, it's so fun. Like, you win the game if you activate King. And we're up against Kenny Wenny. And let's try this. This is the last game. This is where the game should become a little bit hard. And he has Awesome Machine, so we'll have to play. This will be probably hard because if this is the disgusting meta deck, which is like Goblin Machine and Goblin Giant with the Prince of Becca, it's gonna be disgusting. Also, take as the least amount of damage as you can. You possibly can. You don't want to take a ton of damage and just... I'm gonna Ice Spirit. Make sure that I make the least amount of mistakes. And as you can see, he just let the drill go. And it came back to bite me in the ass. It really was not a good play. And I'm gonna activate King Tower here, which is, if you don't know this placement, against the Goblin Machine, if you play a single target rule, it will just shoot the tower at a rocket at your King Tower. And I could have took less damage, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna spam an Ice Spirit at the bridge. I don't want to overcommit. It's single elixir, that's the time where you can make the least amount of mistakes. If you make one mistake in single elixir, you can lose the entirety of the game. So you should play mostly cautious in single elixir, and if you know for a fact the opponent made a mistake, punish them to the moon. You cannot, like, miss that opportunity because you might just win. That's the only, and I do mean the only caveat the rule I gave you at the start, which is if it's don't over offensive in single elixir, unless the opponent made a crucial mistake. As you can see, I've nearly just took his tower, and now I'm just going to defend for the rest of this minute, because there is no reason for me to go aggressive, if I really think about it. I can just defend for days. Like, the only thing that can break through me is that damn Goblin Machine. I'm gonna tank for the Prince. I have to play it. Before there was one else. It's still fine. I'm gonna go Berserky, I'm gonna go Cannon. This Cannon was stupid, but I'm fine with it. Also, I made a mistake, fine. I'm not gonna over-focus on that mistake. Try to point myself. I'm gonna also do display, which will just catch the minions, get some damage, and that's it. So yeah, just play smart. The first ones are even you can have a dumb deck and just win because you're playing smart. So yeah, this is the first part of this 3-part series of how to get a classic challenge win. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part. in the next video.